Welcome to the Devonshire Dis. Today, a special guest, a special co-host, and a magical trip report across the seas on the Disney fantasy. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Devonshire Dis. I hope you're all well. Spooky season is in full swing now that we're in October, and today I'm joined by a good friend who has recently sampled the Halloween delights of Walt Disney World, a co-host of the Disload Podcast, a guest co-host for tonight's episode. AC, how are we doing, my friend?
Thank you for having me on the Devonshire Dis. Welcome aboard, folks. Yeah, doing very well, thank you. It's spooky season in full swing. Yeah, it's nice to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
That's all good. AC is back from another magical trip across the pond, and we were deep diving into what he and his family got up to over at WDW very, very soon. But today, we are both delighted to be joined by another special guest, the person who actually connected AC and I together a couple of years back, a fellow Devonshire dweller, a fellow Cranberry alongside AC and I, Chelsea. Welcome to the Devonshire Dis podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I have to admit, introducing you two to each other it's like one of my most successful projects.
Yeah, that was wild. It's so crazy. I always look back at it. It was Chelsea, because you messaged me saying, "Oh, I know someone who would like to talk to you," and I'm like, "Yeah, send it over." And
yeah, it was
here
just,
we are.
You guys are the only two people that I know who are like DVC people that I know in person, like your families. So I was like, I can't. And you're both called Adam. I was like, that's weird too. And you're both in Cranbrook. Like, this could work. And both at that point as well, like, you know, both like had kids and stuff. I was like, it's just a natural like friendship. And I was really hesitant to do it. And I'm so glad that like you got on. I knew you would. There was no doubt. I just felt weird because I was like, is it weird to be like matchmaking like friends to each other? Do you know what? I would never hesitate again. I would do it. I would do it again in a heartbeat, because it's great to see you guys doing stuff together and you know, and it's just really lovely. Yeah, and
we appreciate it, because if it wasn't for that, the Disload wouldn't even exist. So actually, you can thank the Disload to Chelsea. All of it leads back to Chelsea.
When does my commission come in then?
Yeah.
When we get a paycheck, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah. All you sponsors
Disney,
out there, listen.
Come on, sponsor us, please. Come on.
Wherever we get money from our podcast, this one, Disload, will make sure you get a cut. Don't worry about that.
No, honestly, I saying it here now, I waive my rights to anything Disney podcast related.
Don't do that.
You guys crack on.
No, don't do that.
Too late now. Too late. We will get a contract drawn up. I know someone. I know a guy.
You know a few people. You two do, don't you?
Yeah. That's very true. And if you do know any other Adams who, for some reason, talks about Disney timeshare, then get us connected.
They get the free Adams.
You'd have to rename. You'd have to join up. Definitely, there's a play on words somewhere, isn't there?
I would say AAA, but
AAA.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. There's a podcast for the future. I love it. We're going to deep dive into the magic of Disney Cruise Line and any recommendations for those who are planning to head aboard the ships in future, which actually could be me. More info on that little nugget in an upcoming episode. And we're also going to tap into AC's expertise throughout this as well, because as anyone would know who's listened to the Disload and listened back to our Devonshire Dis episode together, AC loves a Disney Cruise Line trip. So yeah, we're going to be hearing all about Chelsea's magical time this year aboard a Disney Cruise Line vessel, and we're going to tap into all of AC's knowledge.
Well, I will do what I can to help and steer the ship of this episode, pun intended.
I love it. I love it. That's the first of many puns, hopefully.
Hopefully so. Yeah, happy to help where I can, and yeah, we can hopefully and in the future, and if anyone ever needs anything cruise information, you just hit us up on the Sailing Away podcast, and I will happily give you any advice I possibly can.
Great stuff. He is a fountain of knowledge, listeners, so please do get in contact where you need to. Chelsea, first
Hello.
time on a Disney Cruise Line vessel. Is this the first time that you have been on a Disney trip, a Disney holiday?
So we did Paris in 23. That was my first time doing anything Disney related, but that was because, I mean, growing up we just couldn't. It wasn't something that was ever in our in the paycheck that was coming in.
Yeah.
But so we never really explored it when I was a kid. James went once, I think, as a kid on a school trip. But again, it wasn't something that was like accessible to us. So I think as adults, we, having kids, we want to take them and we want to kind of let them see it kind of as we see it, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So we did Paris in 23, and then we decided to try out a cruise this year.
Great stuff. How was Paris before we get onto the sea?
It was good. I think, so obviously, as you guys know, I've got 2 kids. I've got Arthur, who's 6, Teddy, who's 4. At that point, obviously, they were a couple of years younger. I think Arthur remembers bits of it, so for him, it's quite magical still, sort of looking back on it. Teddy says he remembers it, but everything he describes is just from a photo that he's looked at. So he doesn't remember any of it really. He's looked at photos and he's like, I can remember when I stood on that wall outside. And I'm like, yeah. What do you remember about it? And he's like, well, I remember I was doing this with my arms. And I'm like, yeah, that was the photo. So we would really, we would love to do it again, sort of now they're older. Now they would both remember it. So that's definitely on the cards one day. But yeah, that was good, but very different experience, obviously, going then onto a cruise. And we didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. Where do you want me to start?
Well, you obviously went to Paris in 23. Where did the idea of Disney Cruise Line come from? Was it from that trip? Was there like advertisement?
No, it was from Mr. Coomber here.
I thought that might be the answer.
Probably doesn't even remember having this conversation. So
I do. I remember it.
I don't know why, but we were outside your house. I think we were dropping something to your house for some reason, and I don't remember what it was.
It wasn't Easter eggs, was it? Was it the Easter eggs?
No, that was during COVID, and that was when you and Ellie were both hanging out of
several
windows.
It
was like a sitcom, but no, it wasn't that time. It was another time. We were outside in the car, and I don't know how we got onto it, but you were like absolutely raving about Disney Cruise, and I think you just come back from one.
you dropped something off. Yeah,
I don't know what that could have even been. But yeah, I think your enthusiasm stuck. So I was always a little bit curious about it after we'd spoken to you and sort of seeing how excited you got about that, and knowing that, I mean, you've done Florida however many times, and in my head, like, that's the most exciting thing. So seeing how excited you were about the cruises, I was like, okay, that's got to be worth looking at.
I think we had just got back from our trip, which was our 7-nighter from Southampton on the Norwegian cruise.
Yeah.
And we'd just come back, and you'd popped over quickly, and I remember just saying how simple it was because you're not flying anywhere.
Yeah.
You just drive to Southampton, you get on the boat, and you have the experience. And when you're on the ship, it's very much that Disney experience, but you've not had to fly 9 hours and spend thousands of pounds on hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you spent enough, but
yeah.
But it was that, and we got off, and I remember just being so impressed about it that I was elated at the fact of it. So yeah, I think that's probably where that came from.
Yeah, you were absolutely buzzing about it. I think I want to say it was when Riley was quite little. Did you go on one when she was little?
She was just about over. Well, she was nearly 2 at the time.
So it wasn't as long ago as I thought it was then, because she's what, 4 now? She's 4?
Nearly four, yeah.
But yeah, so it was you really that kind of planted that seed. It did sort of lay dormant for a while though, because the reason we then went on and booked it is just basically out of pure spontaneity.
Nice, good.
It came up as, I don't know, I must have talked about it or something, and my phone heard, when you get the tailored ads and you're like, I was just talking about that. So it came up, and I clicked on it, and I saw fireworks at sea, and I was like, James, I think I nudged him, I was like, he was like about to fall asleep, and I was like, James, it's like, you know these Disney cruises that Coomber was talking about? It's like, they do fireworks at sea. And I was like, that was the thing that I was like, whoa. So I must have caught him in a good moment, because he was like, yeah, book it. So I was like, okay,
nice.
Great. So then by the next morning, it was one of those, it was a late night scroll on my phone, and then by the morning we're going on a Disney cruise. It was perfectly kind of in line with the school holidays as well, and it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was extortionately priced, considering it was in the school holidays as well. So our sailing was the 3 nights to Belgium from Southampton. So, and it was on the Disney Fantasy. So we'd kind of spontaneously booked it, and then because it was so reasonable, I couldn't not. So that's my excuse anyway. It was really reasonable for a summer holiday.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
I won't call it cheap. I'll call it reasonable for Disney.
Yeah, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. And because you probably booked way far out in advance, because obviously you booked it quite a long time ago. I think you booked it in the 18-month window. So you were really in the early doors. So you got the absolute, probably the best of the deal you could get.
It was kind of as soon as I'd seen the Southampton sailings being advertised, that was what made me kind of click on it. Because like you were just saying, it's very much, you get in the car at one end, you get out, and you're already on your holiday. Like, you're not having to do all of the traveling to the airport and flying and then transferring and then doing all of that stuff. So that also obviously sold it. The one thing which I did realise after booking is that because we were only on a 3-night sailing, there were no fireworks at sea. So that instantly, really? So that's the one thing. The 3-night sailings, I think, because they try and, obviously you're cramming quite a bit into 3 days, they don't tend to include them.
For the Devonshire Dis listeners here, I will tell you now, if you book a Southampton cruise, no matter how long that cruise is, you won't get fireworks at sea.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Because EU regulations and waters will not allow for the fireworks to be deployed.
Okay.
Right.
So unfortunately, that's the one thing. And it's a bit naughty of cruise line to still advertise it, because they can't do it.
That was what got me.
They can't do it, because on the 3-night Bohemian cruises, you will get fireworks but for some, it's EU rule. You can't. Even though the fireworks are technically fish food.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's really good to know, because funnily enough, this, just to sum up my brain, I just before we went, I googled just to see if there was a forum. I googled fireworks at sea, 3-night Southampton to Belgium Disney Cruise Line. It came up with a forum of the exact question, and it said, unfortunately, there will not be fireworks on this sailing. And I looked at who posted it, and it was Chelsea from Devon. It was me 6 months ago. So I just never checked back. But I was like, that sums me up. I forgot I asked the question and never checked back. So yeah, that just to sum up my brain. But that confirmed it again, apparently.
Fast forwarding, obviously, from when you booked it to getting closer and closer to the trip.
Yeah.
How did you go about planning for it? Obviously, it's from what AC is described on the conversations we've had there, like in what you just said, there's so much to do on a Disney Cruise Line vessel. Like, how did planning go for it? Was it vlogs? Was it tapping AC? How did it go about?
So I have regrets, right? So this is what I'm hoping to share with listeners of Devonshire Dis. Because I have regrets, because I did not research what was going to be on the ship very much, because I didn't want to spoil it. So for me, I looked at what was on the ship in terms of like the names of things and like what the restaurants were called and what was there, but I deliberately didn't look for kind of pictures or videos of what was going to be on the ship, because I didn't want to kind of ruin the magic of seeing it all.
Yeah, I get that.
So that was how I kind of went about it. But I'm also quite an anxious person, so in terms of, I have to plan to the T, like getting there and getting on the boat safely, basically, and then getting off in Belgium and making sure that we knew where we were going when we were in Belgium. Those things I had to make sure I knew exactly what I was going to do because of the anxiety side. Yeah. But on the ship, I knew, you're in safe hands, aren't you? You get on, you kind of know. But like I say, I have regrets. I kind of wish I didn't do that, because I, in hindsight, don't think that would have ruined anything. I think it would have enhanced the experience, personally. Yeah. Which I'm sure I'll mention again throughout this, because there's a few reasons that I kind of regret not looking into it more.
It's your first trip. Yeah. It's your first one. You learn by doing in these things, and the Disney Cruise Line experience is a minefield if you want to do that, that surprise element of when you get there. So it's a live and learn. I kind of wish
I hadn't. Yeah, there was one vlog that I watched, and the reason I watched it is because one person in our party, so our 4-year-old, has a food allergy. So I watched a vlog about how they cater to food allergies, and I watched the whole thing with my hand over my phone screen like this, with reading the subtitles at the bottom so that I didn't see, because I didn't want to see what the restaurant looked like. So I did watch one, but I didn't watch one. I just read. It was just someone's experience of sort of how to order food for someone with like a food allergy, and it was really helpful. But again, I should have just looked.
It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting point, though, isn't it? Because, like, especially in the Disney community that we've found ourselves upon, it is so easy to be spoiled these days. There's so many people who are picking up a camera and capturing magic, and it's great to watch for an entertainment value, and it can be so informative, with so many informative people out there capturing all inches of Disney parks and Disney cruise lines and so on and so forth. But if you do want to go in there and make sure the magic is first impression magic, it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, weighing it up in hindsight, I don't think it would have taken the shine off of anything. I think if anything, it would have made sure that we'd made the most of the time that we had. Obviously, being only a 3-night sailing, we were quite limited really in time when you do factor everything in, because there is so much that you can do. And so we were finding ourselves kind of not queuing for certain things because we didn't have that much time. We didn't want to be like, oh, let's queue here for 2 hours for this character meet, when there's X, Y, and Z to do, that we could all like cram all of that into couple of hours that we'd have been queuing type thing. If we'd navigated it better, we would have, gotten to the queues early and stuff like that. Like there were certain things that we could have done. But yeah, the element of surprise was what got me. That was what I was going for. But yeah,
I can see why. AC, as far as your experiences with Disney Cruise Line, is there some fundamentals that you would recommend to listeners and anyone who's jumping on a cruise line from the planning element?
Yeah, so the planning element, my recommendation to everyone is to have your Navigator app downloaded on your phone way before, because you can access. So usually at the 6th month mark, when you pay, you start to pay your final balance and things are starting to clear up, ready to book, the windows start to open to book certain things. So the Navigator app will start to show in drips and drabs before you're sailing things that are going to appear in your itinerary. So, for example, the one that I always recommend, it may not have been suitable for Chelsea and her family, but the one is the Royal Gathering that they do in the main hall. It's a free thing to do.
The princess.
That's you get to meet the princesses, but it goes quick. So as soon as that window opens, I think that one's at 30 days before you sail, you've got to be on it. So my advice would be the Navigator app is key. I do agree with Chelsea and say if it's your first time, don't go too much into it because you want that wow factor. Yeah. But there are certain things to look at, and I think the Navigator app will give you everything you need to gear yourself up.
Interesting, good tip. Right, I need a notepad, really, don't I? Should have brought one with me.
Just message me later. I'll give you the notes later. Don't worry. You've got a cruise fanatic at your fingertips, and you just ask me.
I suppose that's a top tip for anyone listening. Just find someone who knows their stuff when it comes to cruises, and just lean on that sort of knowledge.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Right. So, planning aside, let's get into the magic. Let's start at embarkation day. How did it work? First of all, did you drive up obviously we're from Devon, did you drive up to Southampton the same day?
Yeah, so we went we're in Cranbrook in Devon, so we went to Southampton on the morning of. We just left about 8 in the morning. We left I think we left ourselves like 4 or 5 hours to drive up, bearing in mind it's like a 2-hour drive. So we drove up. We had one stop, which was at a Starbucks, which I'm only mentioning because as we were driving up, we popped into the Starbucks and there was a couple in there. And there were signs that they may have been going to the same place as us. maybe some Mickey ears. And
Amazing.
So I did stop them and I asked them. I was like, I think you might be going where we're going. And we had a little bit of a chat. And I know I was messaging you, Adam G. And Loz. Sort of we were kind of like live updating you as we were driving up because we were just really excited. We were just like, what do we do? Who can we tell? But yeah,
we were matching that excitement by receiving the messages. Don't worry about that.
But they were this couple were getting a taxi from Torbay to Southampton, so it must have been like a 2.5 hour taxi there, assuming they're also getting a taxi back as well. Yeah, they were going all out, and they also had kids that they'd left at home. So they were, but they were going where we were going, obviously. And yeah, it was quite exciting. I don't know if either of you ever went to when the Exeter City were in the playoffs at Wembley 10 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
as you're going up the motorway, like all the services, like if you stop at the services, there were just like people like in City shirts everywhere, and it was really exciting. And there were people like selling like City merch in like Bristol, and it was like it felt crazy. It felt like that, like bumping into someone else that was going there. It kind of like added to the hype a little bit because. Like just going down the road, but having that Disney experience and knowing that you're on your way to something really exciting, but other people kind of it just like added to it a little bit. I kind of wish we'd seen more people. There probably were several kind of going up from where we were going, to be honest, because of the proximity was in the grand scheme of things, 2 hours down the road is nothing for a Disney holiday, is it? Like when you take
absolutely not, yeah.
Things like even Paris, to get to Paris, even if you were, the quickest you could get to Paris is probably like 6 hours or whatever from here if you were going into London and then getting the Eurostar. So 2 hours down the road is nothing. But yeah, it was quite exciting seeing someone else that was going. But we hadn't told the boys that we were going on a Disney cruise, so
awesome.
I think
nice.
We hadn't told them, so we told them the night before that we were going on holiday. Didn't tell them where. We were dropping clues like I don't know what, and they were not twigging at all. About a month before, I bought some suitcases on Facebook Marketplace. One of them is a Mickey Mouse suitcase, and the other one was a BB-8 suitcase.
Nice.
So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to collect these without the boys seeing them. So I thought, rather than try and hide them, I'm just going to be really overt about it. So I took them to go and pick these suitcases up. No mention at all. No, that they didn't twig at all. We had the luggage tags arrive in the post in like a big, like special delivery from like DHL or whatever delivered. Like, Mummy, what's that? I'm like, nothing. Okay. All right. Like, by the end of it, we were like passing them like Mickey Mouse teddies and things, and just being like, "Oh, can you just hold that for a minute?" And then like putting Disney music on, and they were just no questions asked. But we were just dropping clues like I don't know what by the end of it, and they just had no idea. And then when we actually told them, I know we sent you and Loz the video.
Yeah.
And Teddy was just like, "Oh." That was nothing. It was like the the meme of the little girl in the back of the car, and they're like, "We're going to Disney," and she's like,
huh?
That was Teddy. He wasn't bothered at all. As soon as we stopped recording, he was really happy though. He was really excited. I think we just kind of threw him off a little bit because he didn't really know. I think the reaction was, "What's a Disney cruise?"
Yeah.
Because we hadn't watched the vlogs. So yeah, poorly educated kids.
How would it be silly?
Oh, they're well versed in the Disney universe now, though, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, they've beaten you to a cruise, so.
I know exactly. Yeah, I'm playing catch up.
4 years old.
I'm playing catch up. They're going to get to their gold membership before I do.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Love it. They're silver members already.
Yeah. What is the stages at AC? Like, how many more does Arthur and Teddy need to get to before it goes to the next bracket?
So it'll be once you've done your 5th cruise, once you've attended your 5th cruise, that's when you'll turn into gold status. Once you've then finished your 10th cruise, you'll go into platinum, and then once you've finished your 25th, you go into pearl. And if you're a really heavy hitter, once you've hit 50, you get your name at Castaway.
Wow. I thought you were going to say they just like give you a vessel at that point.
No,
They're just like,
they'll put your name on the Castaway key, on the Castaway keyboard that's there.
Cool.
And the date of which your first sailing was, which weirdly, someone's first sailing who's done 50 is at like 2019.
Oh wow,
really?
Someone's been working hard.
Yeah, someone won the lottery and just
that's it. Yeah,
just wrote one big check to Disney.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll you'll be a silver member for the next ones, and then when you get to gold, you'll get an extra thing in your status. Next time, if you decide to do another cruise in the future, you'll get a gift when you get into your room, and then when you get to gold, you get an extra gift, and then you get 10% off merchandise and things on the ship.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We love a merch. We love a Disney discount as well.
Yeah, my wallet doesn't, but yeah.
Doesn't matter how much discount Disney can give you. It always seems to get every dollar back, don't they?
Yeah. Let's take it in from the DVC merch discount. You get 20% off merch discount Florida for having the membership, and you're like, oh, it's fine because now I can buy more stuff because I've spent less money.
That's like welcome to Fat Fighters. You can have half a slice, so you can have twice as much.
Yeah, that's it.
It's got half a slice, it's got half the calories. That's
it's exactly
so you can
that.
have twice as much.
It's exactly that. Well, you had 20% off on this, and you could now buy this.
Because
look at what you saved.
The thing you only bought because you had discount.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Disney
magic of Disney marketing.
Yeah.
So
how was the port process in Southampton? I've never been, so I wouldn't have a clue. But how was it over there?
So it was really smooth for us. We were really lucky. We had booked onto the so we were boarding at 12:45, which we were trying to kind of leave enough time to drive up without having to leave at like an ungodly hour. So 12:45 seemed like a good midpoint. We didn't want to be the last, but we also didn't want to be up too early. With 2 young kids, because that might not have gone well.
Nope.
We drove straight in. The traffic wasn't bad at all. Not bad at all. I think, to be honest, a lot of people were already boarded by the time we'd gone. Obviously, there were several people after us as well, but by the time we got there, we'd prepaid for parking at the port. So it's literally, the car park is next to the ship. You can't get closer if you tried. Like, you're parked there, you walk across the car park and you're there. Like, it was so easy. So I would definitely recommend parking at the port. It's quite pricey. You'd save money if you went and parked on someone's driveway or whatever and used like Just Park or whatever. But for convenience, if you obviously for us, one of the selling points was the fact that it was a convenient holiday, or a convenient way to have a Disney holiday without having to go very far. Ourselves, obviously, we did go to Belgium, but it didn't feel like we went to Belgium until we kind of got off. But it was really convenient. There was an enterprise van in the car park, and guys with like high vis jackets on, and they came over to us, and they were like, "Can we take your cases?" So James gave them the cases, and then these guys walked off with the cases, and I was like, "Who are they?" James was like, I don't know.
Super friendly.
Anxiety then goes like through the roof. So I was like, do you mind going back and getting the cases back from these random guys in high vis with an enterprise van? So he went back, got the cases back, and then there's one of the Disney Cruise Line workers was by the port, or he's on the port, like where we were meant to be checking in, and I was like, just to let you know, there's some like shady looking guys in there, and they were like, yeah, they're our porters. Like, Of course they are. Maybe give them a lanyard or something with a Disney logo on it, so I know that that's not just some randomer that's come into your car park and with an enterprise van. Like it was red flag massively. But yeah, they do have porters. But I did find out afterwards that if they had taken our bags across to the ship, then we would have had to tip them and I wouldn't have known. So then I would have really offended them. So luckily we got our cases back and just walked them the 20 yards to the ship that we needed to go, because it wasn't very far anyway. So yeah, it seemed dodgy, but it was actually fine. Just wanted to mention in case anyone else encounters that. But yeah, then boarding wise, we arrived about half an hour early, sort of before our slot. We were advised not to go early because they don't let you on, but by the time we'd gotten there, because so many people had already gone on, it was open boarding by then. So we actually, so we got in half an hour earlier, basically. We got in, there was no queue, there's absolutely no one in there apart from like one person at each check-in counter. We were straight through. It was so easy. So in terms of the boarding time, because I did, after we had been, I watched someone's vlog. It was someone that was on the same sailing that we were on, and they boarded at 10:45 or something like that, and they were like, it was like an airport, like that everyone sat around on their cases. There's like hundreds of people in the like waiting to board. But we missed that. So in hindsight as well, like that was a good thing. It was like perfect boarding time. Because as soon as we got on, the lunch buffet was like already served, so we were like straight on and kind of being ushered straight up to the Cabanas restaurant.
That's the
it was actually
process.
Really good timing. It was actually really good timing. We weren't bothered about being on early because it meant we didn't have to wait in a crowded room with 2 kids. So it actually worked really well.
I guess my question to that is did you get your names announced as you walked in?
Yes, we
did. How was that experience?
So that was the one thing I knew was going to happen. That was the one thing I knew. I hadn't avoided that. That had cropped up on the old TikTok algorithm, so I knew about that one. Quickly swipe past so it doesn't come up again, so I don't get any spoilers. So I knew that was going to happen. But then I also worried when they said it was open boarding. I was like, does that mean that we're not going to get our names called out? Because I was panicking that there wasn't going to be the but yeah, they still did it. And I did tear up a little bit. But...
Yeah, I get.
Couldn't help it. I knew it was going to happen. And I was like, oh.
It's surprising how nice a touch that is. It's really basic, but it's the fact you walk in, the staff clap you on, and you walk into the atrium. And I guess that's my next question. Sorry about it, I'm sort of diving in here.
No, this is why you're here.
The next question is, when you saw that grand atrium, what was the first thing that came into your head once you'd been greeted in and you've walked in and you look up and you see it all?
Yeah.
How did you feel?
It's just amazing. It's amazing. When you get on, that's not a boat. How is that a boat? Like it's mad, isn't it? You're looking around and like, I'm just in the like this grand building. So yeah, it does blow you away. And also the artwork in the lifts as well was really nice. Again, like that's such a nice touch. Like they don't need to do that. Like they don't need to do that, but it's such a nice touch. But yeah, it was, and seeing like Mickey waving down at us as well. Like it's just really nice. It's just a really happy moment. I think that kind of creates the memory, doesn't it? It's like the core memory stuff for for the kids. Like that's like I want them to remember that, because that was kind of what it was all for, if that makes sense. That was the magic as they're stepping on. But yeah, they absolutely loved it.
So I guess then my next question would be for you, Chelsea. You've had your embarkation, you've walked in, you've seen the Grand Hall. Were you then ushered? You say you were ushered to Cabanas. Is that where you went, or did you do the smart thing and do the pool deck food?
So we kind of had no idea what was going on at this point. We went up. We had to pass the pool deck to get to the Cabanas, so we kind of had half a look round whilst we walked through. I think the first thing we actually ate was ice cream. I think
good way to start.
Excellent start.
I think we went straight for the ice cream.
Yes, straight for free ice cream.
And it was really weird because it looked like really bad ice cream.
It's
really good
wonderful.
ice cream.
It's
so
wonderful.
Nice.
It's so
really
good.
nice ice
and you
cream.
can guess what? You can have as many as you want.
I know. It looked like bad ice cream.
It looks grainy.
Really,
if you look at it, it looks really grainy, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks like it's like defrosted and frozen again. And then you have it and you're like, oh, okay, this is good. But yeah, the chocolate mixed with the banana, that was a good combo.
Oh.
Yeah. So definitely recommend.
For those that won't know, if you don't know, you get free ice cream included in your fare, and you can have as much as you want. And the machines usually will have 2 flavors, and then they'll combine a third one, which will be the flavors mixed. As Chelsea said, and they rotate the flavors as well. So you can have, I think we had like a blueberry watermelon flavor one year.
Oh wow.
Ooh,
It was really weird, but it was good.
That's rogue, isn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. But so we did grab an ice cream and then went over to the cabanas and obviously had the obligatory piece of cod and a curry on the same plate.
Yeah, as you do.
Oh, you got to do it.
What a buffet's like. You have whatever's there, whatever you fancy.
Yeah.
So yeah, random little combo of food there. But yeah, that was not bad. It was so because everyone was still getting on the ship, it was quite quiet because I think a lot of people had already been in. Not everyone was on the ship at that point. It was fine. It lulled us into a false sense of security because then breakfast the following morning for
chaos, absolute bedlam. So yeah,
I wasn't expecting that. I think because we had that experience on the first day, we were like, oh, this is nice and like serene. You can see the
You're lucky.
sea.
You're really lucky.
Whoa.
That's why I said, did you make the smart option to go to the pool deck? Because normally embarkation day at cabanas is chaos. It is absolute bedlam because everyone is going. That's where they're funneling them to.
Yeah, they were like,
deck.
you come in and you go straight up.
Yeah,
it's like,
So there are I've got some top tips we can do a little bit later on to go through for these things for the future listeners to avoid the utter bedlam that is cabanas on the first morning and the first day. Yeah,
first morning was. We were having regrets then. I was like, we knew there was room service. We could have had room service.
Good. Okay,
we did
in your fare.
We decided not to have room service for this.
But did the kids have Mickey waffles though?
Yeah. So
there
it was.
you go.
So again, because Teddy is he's gluten intolerant. So for us, that was why I watched one vlog. It was because I wanted to make sure that he was going to be kind of well catered for. And he was. They were absolutely. It was the best dining experience that Teddy has had since being gluten-free by far. Because
awesome.
Everything.
Amazing.
Normally, for someone that's in that in that world of having to look at what ingredients are in things and ask for a special menu and stuff. So this experience was completely different. It wasn't a case of here's our allergy menu, you can choose out of our 3 allergy friendly options. It was what would you like to have and we'll go and make it gluten free. And that was just amazing. So we went in there. They have little booths in the cabanas. There are little booths kind of throughout, and there's usually a member of staff sort of standing near one, and you can ask them, and they fill in a form. So it will say what the allergy is, the stateroom number. They'll give you a buzzer, like when you're waiting for a restaurant table and they give you the little buzzer. They give you one of those, so they go and cook it fresh. Obviously it takes a little bit longer, but it's really reassuring because they've gone out and they've from scratch. Everything is made in a separate kitchen. It's really reassuring, and it was the same as well up on the top deck where it's like Flo's Cafe and stuff, and they do the
Flo's V8.
Yeah. So where they've got the sort of burgers, pizzas, chicken strips, all of that stuff, like the random like fast food that you can get at any hour of the day, which we did eat there quite a bit, but they were really good as well because you could go up.
Shame.
Honestly,
There's no shame
really
at
good.
cruise.
It's really good.
I know, so good.
But they were amazing, even like with Teddy's allergy as well, or not allergy, because we're lucky he's not celiac and he's not allergic to gluten, he's just intolerant. So we're very lucky in that sense. But I think if he was celiac, we would have felt really reassured as well. The whole experience in that regard, like they were just brilliant. But even with like we went to get him a pizza and he's like, I want a pepperoni pizza. So they go off and they bring him out an entire gluten-free pepperoni pizza because they have to make it from scratch. He can't just have a couple of slices because they've had to cook it to order for him. So then he's sat there 4 years old with this huge pizza. Like, but they're so good. They're so accommodating to that. So I like wholeheartedly recommend for someone with an allergy to a food for that peace of mind. Like, just brilliant. Can't fault them at all.
That's a great point. Like I would expect that in maybe like a Cabanas where it's a buffet, and knowing Disney service, you would expect them to have it in like the other little, you know, snacky areas and that, and to have that same level of service. That's fantastic to hear.
They were amazing. Even the ice cream station as well. Like, you go up and there was a member of staff there on the first day, and we said, do you have a gluten-free cone? Straight away, no hesitation, puts on some gloves and goes to the separate sort of storage thing, gets a gluten-free cone. We then obviously knew where the gluten-free cones were, so then we stopped asking. We were just helping ourselves to them because it was just easier. But even that, like that he was even catered to there. Like, most of the time when you get an ice cream, if there's someone who can't have wheat, they'll just get like a tub and they won't have that. So it was really nice, even that, like even something as small as an ice cream cone, and he could have it. It was really good.
And it's there as well. It's not like, okay, just hold on a second, I've got to wait, 10, 15 minutes as we go to a different part of the ship to pick this up, and by the time your ice cream's melted, sort of thing. Yeah. So it's good that
it stops them from feeling like isolated, and separate to everyone else, because I think Teddy does get that quite a lot, unfortunately. Like, if we go even to like McDonald's, we have to take a bread roll for him and stuff, and it's just there was nothing like that. It was just, what do you want, and we'll make it for you. So breakfast in the cabanas on the first day, they were like, what would you like to have? And Teddy obviously wanted Mickey waffles, because everyone wants Mickey waffles, don't they?
Who doesn't?
And they went straight out and made him Mickey waffles. And then annoyingly, they didn't. I think they were a little bit late on bringing out the regular Mickey waffles. So because we're walking through with Teddy's Mickey waffles, everybody who's walking past me is going, "Where did you get the Mickey waffles?" So then I was like I was just like, over there, trying to, like, because it's so busy in there, so busy. I think. I don't know if this has anything to do with it being a sailing from Britain, but the people were trying to queue at the end as though they're going to go through every single station of the cabanas, going all the way around. Even though most people know, like, they're going to go and, I don't know, get some cereal or whatever, but people are queuing from the end as though they're going to walk past the entire thing. But yeah, I think you kind of quickly learn, like, you don't really need to do that. You just kind of go to the one that you want and kind of try and get in there. Yeah, I put that down to it being a British sailing. Everyone
that sounds very British.
I'd love to say it is, but it's not.
Oh, really?
It's not. It's so American.
Universal experience.
Wow.
It is. Yeah, it's always the first day while people start to like find their feet on it, and they always get confused with it. The more veteran sailors who have been, go more frequently, understand the drill, so we don't go to Cabanas the first day for breakfast. We should ignore that.
Noted.
How did that first embarkation day as a whole in general feel? Because, there's a lot of people, I guess, that similar to you, that just were going in blind and didn't necessarily know how to navigate the ship and so on and so forth. Was there like organised chaos, or how did it feel? So
it was chaotic. I will admit it was chaotic, but I think this is why I regret not kind of looking into it a bit more before. Because I wasn't aware of even like the sail away party and stuff like that. I knew that I knew that there was going to be something, but didn't really know sort of when it was or anything like that. So I did have the app. Obviously, I had downloaded the app when we'd booked it, but when sort of as we were going, I was just thinking like, there's nothing on here. There's only like, you know, the like princess makeovers and stuff like that you could book. And I was like, okay, there's not really like much going on here. I didn't know that, as you guys obviously will both know, once you get on board, that's when the app is like, woo, like this is everything that we do. You're just not allowed to know until you get on.
yeah
so and that was amazing. Yeah, but that was amazing. Like once I'd realized that everything was there, it did sort of open it up massively. But yeah, we kind of half saw the sail away party because we didn't realize how busy it was going to be. We were kind of at the back, like kids on shoulders, trying to kind of catch a glimpse, because we were just like, whoa, it's all happening and we're just sort of here and floating through.
I'm guessing you would have had to do your emergency muster drill. You have to go and do your muster drill,
that threw me massively because I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
You've got to do your mandatory muster drill, which is obviously health and safety. You know, has to be done. Normally, once you do that, it's a bum rush to top deck for the sail away party, and that's unavoidable because everyone's doing that. So it's just a minefield to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
So we had to have the emergency drill. I feel like it was. No, it was before. Obviously, it was before.
It's always before. Yeah, it's always before the sail away party. So what they tend to do is they normally funnel you into either one of three, depending on where your stateroom is. Yeah. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm booked. I end up in the Walt Disney Theatre or the Buena Vista Theatre.
Yeah, we were in the Walt Disney Theatre.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you'll hear the big alarms, and then it's like, right, everyone, up to deck 11. Go.
Can't help but think of Titanic though, can you? When you're sitting there and you're like, okay, what are we here for? And they're like, if
I've seen this movie before.
If something happens,
it's just when you, and obviously the kids have got to be there as well, and then you're answering questions about that. I mean, our 6-year-old Arthur, like, he asks very big questions. Like, he will ask really, you know, that's the kind of thing that really kind of throws him. We once went to Butlins, and I said, if the fire alarm goes off, come and wake mummy and daddy up. And then he was like, when is the fire alarm going off? When's it going to be? And I was like, it's not going to go off, it's fine. I was just saying, if it does, this is what will happen. So then going into the theatre and being told, like, this is what's going to happen, and this is your life jacket. He's like, what? So it does, you know, again, if I'd looked into it more, then I would have known about that, and I'd have been able to prepare him for that as well. It's just really difficult to balance the kind of wanting it to be a surprise and all of the things that you kind of need to know.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
it's a lot for kids. It's very, the first day, if you're new to it and you're a kid, it's a very overwhelming experience. It's magical. But those first few hours while they do sailing away party and the muster, it is chaos. It is unorganized chaos. But as you'll probably notice, what you probably noticed, Chelsea, is once you probably got to like 4 or 5 o'clock just before dinner, everything just seems like it's just calms right down.
Just mellows out.
Yeah, definitely.
Just mellows out. People disperse. People are sort of all over the shop. The ship always feels a lot quieter after that initial chaos kicks off, except for just before the dinner let-ins and things like that. That's when it's a little bit more chaotic, but usually it's all quite calm.
So interestingly, I watched the vlog that I watched sort of after we'd been, and it was someone who had been on, I think they said they'd been on 7 before, and it was the first time they'd sailed from Southampton, but they said it was the worst experience they had, and that was the one we were on. And they said it was absolutely manic, like chaotic, like nothing they'd seen before. And they said that they thought it was because of where Southampton is, it's kind of got the gap to go through before it gets out of British waters. So the shops couldn't open until much later than they normally can. So then people were queuing at the shops, and then the shops opened as the theatres were kicking out after the first show. So everything happened at once. So everyone's flooding out of the theatre, everyone's flooding into the shop out of the theatre, as well as the people that have just queued for 2 hours to get into the shop. So yeah, the people whose vlog that was, they weren't very happy, but it seemed to be a lot of they weren't too happy about the amount of first time cruisers. So yeah, it wasn't a very nice vlog to watch, to be honest, because I was like I was one of them.
The Southampton cruisers are normally it's the gateway for people in the UK who wouldn't normally
Yeah.
do these cruises. So a lot of them will be, and for a long time, they're going to be first timers. So if you don't like first timers, well, that's tough. You have to deal with that. There's nothing you can manage about it.
It's true.
So we've disembarked, we've sailed away, we've had our sailing away party. Did we hear the horn go off, and what do we think of the horn going off?
We did. So I thought it was great. Arthur worried that it was going to happen in the middle of the night and it was going to wake him up.
Oh, bless him.
I was like, it's not going to happen again. You're fine. But yeah, it was cool because obviously it's the Disney song, isn't it?
It's When You Wish Upon a Star.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. And actually, even just moving on the water is feels magical, and that's just a cruise experience. Even without the Disney element, it was just quite cool to experience it.
So let's talk about the stateroom. So what stateroom did we get? Did we get an inside, an ocean view, or a veranda?
So we went for a veranda, and we actually went for an extended veranda.
Nice.
We were, we thought that might be quite nice. We were on the 5th deck, so we were in stateroom 5550. So it's nice and easy to remember when we were trying to charge things to our room.
That's handy.
It was quite handy. It was really annoying because when we were looking for the room, we went right the way around all of the rooms on deck 5, and it was actually the one. It was the first one we walked past, and we didn't realise.
Always happens.
We took the long route round, but it meant we got to see some of the little kind of quirks that they put around. So there was a little miniature stateroom door, and it said, and it was Pepe the King Prawn, and we were like, this is great. Yeah, amazing. So that was cool. Things like that we wouldn't have seen if we hadn't got lost. So
Pepe's
silver
door.
linings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I think in hindsight, the veranda, take it or leave it, to be honest. I don't think that really added to our experience at all. If anything, it just made us colder because we had the big kind of open expanse of window, so it was quite cold in our room during the night. Obviously it's nice to have a little bit of outdoor space, but the extended veranda was a nice thing to have rather than a necessity. I think we would have had just as nice a time if we'd had just one of the outside rooms with a window. We would have wanted a window, I think, just because obviously it's the nature of a cruise ship, isn't it? The staterooms are generally pretty small. It's like a little compact hotel room, really, isn't it? And it's a base. It's what you need it for. But yeah, the room was nice. It was a good base. I just think the veranda is a nice thing to have, and just maybe something that is an expense that can be carved off for people that are kind of looking at that. Obviously, getting to the room, the luggage is already there. Even that, it's just a nice touch, isn't it? You just kind of forget about it. You're like, okay, they've got the bags. They're going to be outside the room when we find the room, and everything was just it was really smooth. There was a little bag as well on the door. It was a little bag with we actually passed a few of these on to you, Adam G. The little pirate things, the coins and stuff. And it said on the bag, you've been sprinkled with pixie dust or something like that.
Oh, nice.
And it was someone from another stateroom.
Yeah.
We then found out on the second or third day, because we saw them in the lift and heard them saying, we've still got 12 rooms on deck, whatever, to pixie dust. I was like, these people have been around every single room and they've left a gift on every single door.
Yeah, people do. It's
where else do you find people that are that nice?
Yeah.
Nowhere. It was just a really nice touch, and I just assumed it was from the cruise line. But no, it was just someone else that was cruising.
It's a big community thing, isn't it, AC?
It really
I see that
is.
everywhere.
And people decorate their doors and everything, don't they? People have got magnetic signs, and they just kind of take them every time. And so a lot of the doors are even quite interesting to look at as you walk around.
They are. They're very well decked out.
Staying in them, it's quite cool.
But the community is real. It's a big community for it.
Really is.
Love all that sort of stuff. They really try for it. And as you know, Mr. G, you'll always get a magnet every time you cruise now because of we get a magnet every time we go because as members you'll get one on your door as you come on.
That makes sense. Okay,
DVC members
get
they get a magnet every time they sail.
I assumed there was just a big Etsy market for the door magnets.
No. I mean, the door magnets. There is a lot of people just decorate their own.
Yeah.
But you'll know a DVC member's cruising because they'll have "Welcome Home" glued onto their door.
Right. Okay.
That's a nice touch.
It's a nice touch, isn't it? It's just nice.
Yeah, it's what you get. But so you went for the deluxe. You went for the deluxe extended stateroom. Very fancy.
Yeah.
You know. So
That's what we were going for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the question I ask, and it's everyone says the same thing, and I'm pretty sure that's what they said. Did we think the bed was one of the most comfortable beds we've slept in?
It was a very comfy bed. I've actually put that in my notes here. I've put our bed.
Everyone says
bed
it.
Was very comfy. It's my
Everyone
first line.
says it. The beds are incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, really comfy. The bunk beds as well for the boys. Obviously, they kind of like fold the bottom one down into a sofa, and the top one kind of shrinks into the ceiling. I didn't know that the stateroom host comes and pulls that down.
Yeah.
So we're there with all sorts of stuff trying to like get into the little latch to pull it down. But you're not supposed to do that. They come and do that for you. They come and set the room up for sleeping, and then they kind of wrap it all back down so that you've got somewhere to sit during the day as well. But yeah, I didn't know. I just nearly broke the bed.
You get 3 cleaning services a day. You'll get your main clean in the day. You'll get clean midday, and then you'll get your turn down service, which is when they make the beds and do all that.
It's very impressive because, do you know, the whole time we were there, I didn't see our stateroom host once.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Really?
That's
like
impressive.
he was like a fairy. Like he would just be in when
Surprised by that. They normally make the effort to talk to you.
So James managed to catch him a few times because he did go and ask about how we get the bed to come down. And he was like, well, I just do that for you. I had no idea. But yeah, James did catch him a few times, and James went and gave him his tip at the end as well, and said thank you. But yeah, I managed to somehow avoid the stateroom.
Oh, surprising. They're normally very good. They'll remember your names. They'll remember all those things. They're very good. They're very good.
Definitely. I mean, from what James was saying, like they were really like attentive and stuff. Like as soon as he asked a question, I mean, and they're happy to like show you around and stuff as well if you're lost, which we found on the first day when we walked straight past our room whilst looking for it. But yeah, they obviously there's like the towel art and stuff that they do is a nice touch as well. Like that's always
get your
always
chocolates
a nice thing
on your bed.
It's cute, isn't it? It's something to look forward to. Like you just off to bed and you're like, oh, there's a duck on my bed now. Great.
Yeah.
It's those magic touches, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, it's just sweet. Yeah. And like the on pirate night, they made the towels into a pirate.
Yeah.
Like it was just really clever. And then they had them sort of on the deck as well. They just had random sort of towel art laying around as well up on the top deck. It was just really, it's just nice touches like everywhere.
How did the boys like the cabin stateroom? Was it like a novelty having bunk beds and so on?
They loved it. They managed to kind of manufacture a little bedroom out of the blankets. So they hung a blanket up from the edge of the top bunk, and draped it down. So then the bottom bunk became like a little bedroom kind of nook.
Nice.
So they were quite creative about it. But yeah, they really liked it. They do like sleeping on a bunk bed. They do like the novelty of a bunk bed.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So we had our cabanas buffet. We've found our cabin. First impressions have been good. There's a little bit of chaos. Now that it's all starting to calm down, let's start talking about all of these magical things that you experienced. I think the best way to do it is in like certain sections because there's so much to cover. We've already touched on dining, so let's keep the subject matter of food going. How did you find rotational dining? How was the magic of food on a Disney cruise line?
So, this is one of my regrets. You're gonna hate me for this. You'll hate me for
No.
We didn't do the rotational dining at all.
Oh,
we actually didn't do it at all.
Really?
I know. Yeah. Well, in hindsight, I know that we missed out. I know that we missed out on like a really amazing experience.
Wow.
But again, because we avoided the vlogs. It's basically we'd looked at the menus, and there were things like snails and things I wasn't going to be able to sell to my kids or my husband. Sure. So
they have plenty of kids food like options on there. You're doing fine. You're doing absolutely fine.
There was, I think, because we'd been eating on the top deck and having like pizza and burgers and stuff at like random o'clock each day. there was no way we were going to be able to fit in a meal. Like, we were just completely full. There's so much food. But we didn't, like, I'd not realised that was, like, you'd get those kind of, like, character dining experiences. So I have big regrets about that. I do wish we'd experienced that. We only saw the inside of the animator's palette, and that was because that was where we were having breakfast on the on disembarkment. So we got to see that, and that was obviously, it's like amazing, like looking around at like all of the touches in there as well. But yeah, so I'm really gutted about that, because I didn't know until we left, and I watched, I did then kind of like look at vlogs and things, and yeah, I felt like we really missed out then. It's in hindsight.
Yeah, and it's something which now you know that it's a whole new experience if and when you do go on your cruise again.
Yeah, and with if you have picky eaters in your family, which everyone has, when you go to rotational dining, your wait staff you think cabanas and the quick service were good, they are next level on making it work. They will do whatever you need, and it's just done. For example, like, one of the things that I always recommend to people is, if you're going on the Dream or the Fantasy and you eat Animator's Palette, and then you go to Royal Garden or Enchanted Gardens, which to me is like the weakest of the 3 restaurants to eat at, I just say, I want that menu, and they just bring you that menu, and they give you that.
Wow.
They'll just give you that.
That's so good. Like, nowhere else does that. Like, nowhere does that.
And how many plates have we got? I'd like 10. Go at it. Have 10. Go now. They'll just give it to you. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. So we did the prepaid like gratuity thing.
Yeah.
But then obviously didn't use the dining. So we did fork out on tips for them all anyway. And we did say to them when we went down for breakfast, obviously it was the same dining staff, and they were like, "Where were you?" I'm like, oh no. I felt so bad, and I was like, "You'll be pleased to know you're still getting a tip."
The keeping of this is like, you don't have to do the rotational dining. Is I guess the positive spin on what you're saying. There's still the options. You're still going to be fed throughout. So that's interesting.
So much food.
You won't go hungry.
So much food.
Yeah. No. If you don't do rotational, you have plenty of other options out there for you. Yeah. You won't go hungry. So, but it's an interesting spin, because we've always done the rotational. We've always locked into it. So. It's nice to hear.
People do.
But it's nice to hear a perspective of someone who hasn't. So what did you do for food? Did you just go back up to pool deck and eat at the pool decks and into cabanas and a bit of room service type stuff?
We didn't even do room service. We didn't do room service at all. We had I think we were just so full of pizza and burgers.
Hey, it does that too.
No, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Obviously with breakfast as well, like, it's not every day you have like a big breakfast.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
no,
do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you'll have like a bowl of cereal, but when you're on a Disney cruise, you are eating, you're walking through that buffet and you're like getting everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even the size of the fruit was insane. Like, I'm used to seeing what's in Tesco, and an apple is like that. On the cruise, it was like that for
where
have they grown these? Like, why are we not allowed these in England?
Yeah,
it was really weird. Like, all of the fruit just looked amazing, and I was like, that I've not seen fruit that looks like that since like I was about 4.
Yeah,
like in this country, it's mad.
Yeah, it's wild what they bring.
I told you I'd go off on a tangent.
No,
it's fine. It's good. So we've covered dining pretty well, I would say, at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask the question of kids club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we utilise the kids club, and did we use the hand washers? Please tell me we used the hand washers.
Yes.
I knew that question was coming.
Well, we were told before we went that you love the hand washers.
Use the hand washers.
So I would describe them as a bidet for the hands.
Literally. But are they not the coolest way to wash your hands?
They really are. They really are. And none of this sing happy birthday twice. Like,
none of that.
Just done.
No, just in. Done.
Brilliant. Yeah, really good. I just wish they had them everywhere and not just on.
I agree. They should be everywhere, because they're a lot of the adults that cruise will go to the open day just to use the hand washers.
Yeah.
Telling you, it's what it is.
It was very cool.
So, but what were the kids' impressions of it, and were you able to just leave them and not worry about them?
Yes.
Yeah, so the staff in there are amazing. So obviously Teddy's a bit younger, so Teddy's 4. So they were in slightly separate groups or like groupings in the kids club. So they were allowed to see each other, but Arthur wasn't allowed to take Teddy away from one of the activities that Teddy was doing because he had to always have a grown up. So they basically they had, I think, like 3 or 4 kids each of the younger ones, but they were with an adult all the time. So everything they're doing, they've got an adult with them that's like singing to them, playing games with them, making something with them. It was way better than any nursery to go over here.
Wow, you paid enough for that nursery fee if you think about it.
I know, yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was amazing. Arthur loved the kids club, I think, because they had a Nintendo Switch in there that he was just allowed to play whenever he wanted. So
awesome.
He was really happy.
Yeah.
He was in there playing Mario Kart, which isn't very Disney, is it?
Doesn't matter.
But he was in there playing Mario Kart and he loved it. So he was asking us, like every day, he was like, "Can I go to kids club?" And we're like, "We would like to spend some time with you, Arthur." And he's like, "I want to go to kids club." Teddy didn't really like. He did enjoy it, but Teddy was quite happy sort of staying with us. So there was even a time where we dropped Arthur off and we just walked around with Teddy for a bit because he didn't fancy it.
Yeah.
But Arthur loved it, and it did, and you do feel comfortable dropping them there because you've got those kind of open house sessions. You can really see how it all works, and you know they're in good hands. They're really careful as well. Obviously you need to have like a pickup password and stuff like there's they do a lot to help you to feel confident in them when you're leaving your kids with them, which
is it still the case that you're in the Navigator app, you'll get, if like say Arthur were picking up, you'll get the message to say Arthur wants to come out, and then
you never wanted picking up.
Well, I get that, but some kids do want to get
notifications.
It used to be. I have.
That does still happen.
Yeah, my kids are still too young to be in kids club, so I wasn't able to leave them there. But from my understanding was they will ping you a message if they want picking up, and then you need a password. There's a whole list of checks that have to happen before they just go, "Yeah, here you go. Here's your child." Yeah,
they were really good. But yeah, they did say that they do message on the app if you're if there's a problem or whatever. But yeah, Arthur, there was no way we were getting one of those notifications because he couldn't get away from us fast enough. As soon as he realised he had a switch, he was like, "Can I go back now, please?" We were trying to get him on Pirate Night. We were like, "Do you want to go and watch Pirate Night?" And he's like, "I want to go kids club." Like, okay.
But doesn't that show you how good it is for them in the sense of
definitely.
A ship like this where there's so much adult things to do, there is an entire deck dedicated to the kids.
Yeah.
And with all the colonies, you put them in there, they are going to have the best time.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And yet, as much as the cruise is about making memories as a family, having that time, as yourselves as adults, or with the younger kids who necessarily doesn't want to be there as well, but they go away and there's no fear of missing out on either end. Everyone's just having this wonderful time. And the kids I mean, the theming of it, you got the Toy Story section.
Favourite part of the ship. Loved it.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Really good.
It's so good. And you walk in there and you go like, why can't I have this?
That's where you see what you kind of want to see of Disney. Like that's kind of where you a lot of the ship, if the characters weren't kind of knocking about, you wouldn't necessarily walk in and be like, "This is a Disney ship." Like you would if you do Disney ships, but it's obviously it just looks like this kind of big grand building, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously you see the characters, and that's the Disney touches, and obviously there are little Easter eggs knocking about. But I think things like that, like you go in and you see like Andy's room, and you've got like RC and Mr. Potato Head and stuff. Like it's just really cool. It's what you kind of want to see. It's because it's very themed, isn't it? That it was my favourite part of the ship, definitely.
Good. It sounds like the kids had a wonderful time on that, and you guys had a good time as well. I think I think Adam, when you talk about Broadway shows, when you talk about the evening entertainment, the shows, did we see the shows?
We did. We went to all of the shows.
What did we think of the shows?
Brilliant. amazing. They were the quality of the shows. Like, I'd have happily paid to have travelled to London just to watch one of the shows and come back.
Awesome.
Like, they were really like, the standard of them was really good. We had on night one, we had Aladdin. That was amazing. We sat kind of near one of the side doors where, when they had kind of characters that were about to come onto stage from sort of the audience, that's where they would come out. So it felt like we had a little bit of a like backstage pass there, because we knew that someone was going to come on because we were next to the door. So we quite liked that. So me and James were just kind of nudging each other. We were like, look, there's the fairy godmother over there, like every time someone came through the door. But yeah, amazing. So night one we had Aladdin, night two we had Believe, and then night three we had Frozen. And Frozen was
you didn't get Golden Mickeys. That's interesting.
Golden
that's
Mickeys.
No, that's good, because you've got, like, Frozen is like the fantasy's big hitter.
Yeah.
Right.
And usually the others, normally you'll have Believe and you'll have the Golden Mickeys, but they've done Aladdin. So that's interesting, because on a 3-night shit sailing on the Dream, you would get Golden Mickeys, Beauty and the Beast, and Believe. You wouldn't get the Aladdin because it's not on that ship. So that's interesting. That's good.
Yeah.
And, you know, different. But what did you think of Believe?
I really liked it.
Believe's
I thought
great.
it was nice because it ties in so many characters.
Yeah,
it was
Believe
great.
is
And
good.
also, the guy who played the genie in Aladdin on night one was the genie in Believe as well. So he kind of like made a nod to the fact that he'd been there last night as well, and he was like really like sassy and like just great character. So he had a big round of applause when he came on, because everyone knew him from the night before.
Yeah.
But it was clever how, like, the 3 individual shows, he still kind of like tied it to that. Yeah, it was really good. And then the kind of magic of like the confetti and stuff coming out, like that's always a moment, isn't it? And in Frozen they had like loads of snow.
Awesome.
Teddy was collecting bits of the confetti from each show, and he took them back, and he had a little collection of confetti.
Oh,
he was
nice.
He was collecting sparkles, but it was very sweet.
Very cute.
But yeah, really good. And you can also get the like refillable popcorn as well. So you can buy a tub of popcorn on night one, and you can just go and get it refilled for free on the other nights as well.
I didn't know it was refillable. I knew you had to pay for it. I didn't realize it was refillable. So there you go. I've learned something tonight.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. I mean, it makes up for the $6 bottle of water that I bought from that from that desk.
Oh dear.
Go and get some free popcorn while I'm at it.
I didn't realise it was refillable. Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's
I know that.
refillable.
That's really dangerous.
And they're really good tubs as well, because we've come back with them.
They're
then
huge.
they've got all of the cruise ships on there as well.
Cool.
That was really cool. So we're using that at home now as well. There's a little popcorn tub.
Nice. That's what they're there for. It's a bit like the Stitch one. You know, you just use it. You'll find a purpose for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Replicas
fantastic.
for popcorn buckets. Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. They are the winner. So it sounds to me like the entertainment was an absolute knockout, which we always knew it would be.
Yeah.
That's one of the big draws to that. So I guess we need to really talk about, Adam, don't we, about actually Belgium itself and the actual places we went to.
Yeah, so Belgium was good. We did really enjoy that day, to be fair. It was easy. I did hear from someone else that had been on a cruise to Zeebrugge. I don't know how to even say it. So the same port that we went to. I have no idea how to say it, but they went there and they said that it wasn't very good because they didn't go into Bruges. So we knew from quite early on we were going to go into Bruges.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
It kind of felt like we should. So they made it really easy. So you get off the boat and there are shuttles there. You can either so both of the shuttles were complimentary and paid for by the cruise line. One of them just went to the port exit. The other one went to Blankenberg, which was about 10-15 minutes away. And that has a direct train that goes straight into Bruges. So where the shuttle bus kind of drops you off, you get off the bus and you're right next to the platform that you need to get onto to get into Bruges. And it's at the end of the line as well, so you know that you can't accidentally like stay on the train too long when you come back.
Yeah.
Because you know you ain't going any further. So that was quite reassuring. But it was really easy, and it was very much a case of follow the crowd. Because you can see people with like Disney bags, and everyone's wearing sort of Disney stuff. So you kind of knew, just kind of follow those people, and we'll get back eventually. But yeah, it was good. Obviously, had to do the obligatory waffles and chocolate.
Yeah,
obviously.
When in Belgium.
Belgium.
Managed to find somewhere that did a gluten-free waffle for Teddy, so he was very happy.
Good stuff.
But yeah, it felt a bit weird being like having Mickey waffles on the boat, getting off to go and get some waffles, and then like just waffle. But it's just it was a really nice day, to be fair. It was quite a calm place to go, and kind of escape from the chaos of the boat for a little bit.
Did it feel like coming out of a bubble and then re-immersing yourself back into a bubble when you go back in?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it was quite a calm place to be. I think it's quite a naturally kind of nice place. Like there's like rivers and stuff, a little bit like Amsterdam type vibes, I would say. But as you're kind of walking through, like it's just really peaceful and really nice. I mean, Arthur was obsessed with a Stitch teddy bear that was in the train station. So we left the boat, and he was obsessed with buying a Stitch teddy bear from the train station, which was he didn't want to fund Disney.
Shop.
He just wanted to go and get But yeah, so we ended up with that one. He didn't buy anything on the ship, but he went and bought a Stitch teddy bear from not on the ship. But yeah, it was a really good day. It was nice to kind of break out of the bubble for a little bit, and then getting back on, they were giving out like lemon water and stuff like as you get back on, like they just look after you, like it's just, as soon as you're back they're like come back on, you're home, come on, like they're just really welcoming, and it's little touches again.
They treat it like royalty. That's what happens. You get treated like absolute royalty and all these things.
There wasn't a single time I would say anywhere on the ship, other than when you're outside the actual staterooms, there's nowhere you could be that there's not a member of staff within like 6 foot of you. Like there's just staff everywhere. Like they're so attentive. Like they are so good. Like you could drop something on the floor and someone would catch it behind you before it's hit the floor. They're that attentive. They're just amazing.
That's the Disney standard. That's the explanation that you've given me over the last couple of years, AC, of Disney Cruise Line. That's the level of
that's what it is.
Standard you're expecting.
It is that, and I always remember the first time we cruised back in 2014, and obviously being avid Walt Disney World goers, the service you get is there. You know, you think that's top tier, and you set foot on the boat, and they blow it out of proportion. The level of detail they'll give you is unbelievable. So, you know, to hear it from other people, it's nice to know that it is not just something I'm seeing from rose-tinted glasses. It does solidify to that reality that you are getting it, you know. And like you said, Chelsea, you just feel like you're welcomed back home and looked after.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously for you guys as well, it's probably nice to hear that from someone that's non-DVC as well, to know like that is just the standard. Like they obviously they are going to look after their own, but equally they'll look after anyone that's coming to see them. Anyone that's coming to see them out.
On the cruise, on the cruise lines, it doesn't matter whether you're a first-time cruiser or a Pearl member, or it doesn't matter. You're all treated like royalty. You know, it's a really good thing about the cruise, and that's why, for me, I'm such an avid fan of it. And
it's immaculate. Like, everything is spotlessly clean. Everything's immaculate. And there are maintenance people fixing things before you even know they're broken. Like there are always people, like even things that you'd think they would kind of wait until everyone's gotten off. They want to fix it then. They don't want to wait until everyone gets off. They want to fix it so that the people that they've got now can enjoy the thing that's broken. Like they're that good. They're just it was just really amazing service.
That level of service and standard is Disney all over. You'll find when you're boxed up at dock, they're out cleaning the boat, they're painting it, they're doing all that to make it look absolutely pristine, and it is pristine.
It's something which is mentioned in our community quite often, isn't there, cast members of the Magic, and I think it's certainly telling from the way you're describing it from a Disney Cruise Line experience for sure. Awesome. Is there, if you're looking back at it from, well, let's say from Martha and Teddy's perspective, was there something which was like the absolute standout for your time when you were aboard for the kids?
So I think they just loved seeing the characters knocking about. They loved that. So Teddy was like, it was like he was on first name terms with them. We'd see a character, there'd be a huge queue for Donald Duck, and then he'd be across the room, miles away, not in the queue, and he's going, Donald, over here, Donald, like they're old mates, without queuing up. But he was doing it. It was just really sweet. He was just like so immersed in it and just loved it. And then I don't know if you guys would have seen as well, but we just happened to be in the right place at the right time as Donald was coming out to do a character meet. And he just grabbed the boys' hands and just walked them through the ship.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's so
and
magical.
That made it. That was their moment. Moment. They loved it because they felt like they were like
that's the
absolutely.
Disney advert key. That is the way. If your kids go for that, when you see that the TV advert for Disney and the kids walking down Main Street or on the boat holding Mickey's hand or Donald's hand, it's that moment. So you've been given that core moment, and you probably, I can imagine you probably sat there and you went, it was worth every penny just 100%. To watch that.
They loved it. They just loved it. It was because it was unexpected as well. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. It was just great. And then we also saw, so Teddy really loves like princesses and stuff. So we also saw Cinderella going back into whatever, obviously disappearing from meet and greet. Without destroying the magic. Cinderella walking away to leave the main part of the ship, and smiled at Teddy, but like from like a few inches away, like really, really close, and he was absolutely buzzing. I was like, amazing. That may have topped the Donald experience. The Donald handhold was the smile from Cinderella was great.
Good stuff. What about Disney characters and experiences for characters from both of you on Disney Cruise Line? Nisi, you've mentioned how frequent they are. Did you find it? Were there lengthy queues? Were they accessible?
The queues were quite big, but you would get to see the characters you wanted to see if you're on the app and you're kind of keeping up with the app. Then there's no reason you wouldn't get to see the characters. They are quite heavy on the queues. And they do obviously cut them off at a point, otherwise they would just have a never-ending queue. But they were, I think, because it was a shorter sailing, we were quite kind of limited to like classic Disney characters, I would say. So there was it was very much like Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, and then like there was like the core ones and the princesses. Other than that, there wasn't really much else. So a lot of the ads that you see are like you see like Spider-Man and like Buzz Lightyear and stuff. And we obviously, because it was a shorter sailing, we didn't have like the Pixar night or the like Marvel night or anything like that. So we did have like Captain Hook and stuff because we had the pirate night, which was really cool.
Amazing.
But yeah, I think because it was a shorter sailing, obviously they can't kind of cram everything in. So it was very, I would say, classic Disney coded, I would say, which was, it was great. It was what you'd want it to be.
I'm guessing they were in their sailing attire. So you had Captain Mickey and Captain Minnie, Sailor Donald. So you have that spin as like, although yes, it's the iconics, but actually you're seeing them in the cruise outfit. So a lot of people will be like, well, I've got a photo with Captain Mickey. You've not seen Captain Mickey at the park, have you?
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, that's true. But yeah, on Pirate Night, there was obviously they kind of like showed this video of Captain Hook coming in and like hijacking the boat. That's quite scary as well. That you wouldn't get that on a plane. You'd never get that on a plane.
Oh, amazing!
No, it was good.
So with Pirate Night, there's a show outside, isn't there? And does the likes of Captain Hook, Smee, are they walking around to have character interactions as well?
Not during Pirate Night, but they did do some meet and greets.
Awesome.
Like the rest of the characters do, so that you could kind of queue up and meet them the following day. So the day at sea, that was when they were kind of knocking about.
That's quite unique. I like that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. But yeah, the actual pirate night was good. You kind of go back to your stateroom and they have given everyone the bandana and stuff. Like it's just, again, it's the little touches, just to make sure that everyone's included. There was one guy though that was your doppelganger, Mr. Kendall.
Really?
Yeah. There was a guy. It was on Pirate Night that we first saw this guy, and he looked exactly like you. So we were kind of like, is he just like come on the cruise anyway?
Yeah, I said to Loz, I just had a worked thing for the weekend. Sorry.
But he looked exactly like you, and it was really bizarre. Yeah. And then we kept seeing him and his family like constantly, because when you clock certain people, you see certain people around. Yeah, and he just looked exactly like you. Even when he wasn't dressed as a pirate, he then like still looked like you. And I was like, this is a bit strange. How's he snuck on the cruise?
So did you do the Pirate Night show? Did you watch the Pirate Night show kick off?
We did. We managed to.
Awesome.
So by that point, I was really good with the app. So I knew exactly when it was going to be. We tried to kind of strategically time it so we could. We went right up onto the kind of upper top deck.
So we deck
could watch
13
down, because we didn't want to be in the crowd as such. Just because the sail away party was so crowded. So we kind of went up and watched from above. So we were watching down. So we had a really good view from up there.
Nice.
Obviously, it's a bit colder. So we did all wrap up, and they were handing out blankets and stuff as well. Like they're so attentive. Like they're handing out blankets. There's obviously up on the deck as well, you've got the drinks station. So our little top tip is you can actually creatively make a hot chocolate out of the Nesquik sachets. So the boys had a little hot chocolate each, and we were all wrapped up in blankets watching the Pirate Night show, and that was really nice.
That sounds like a magical moment.
Yeah, sounds great.
You can make a little hot chocolate out of the Nesquik.
Sounds great. That's perfect. Because you didn't get the fireworks, which is normally the Pirate Night will come with the fireworks, so that is a shame. But obviously they can't control that. That's one that's out of there. But I'm sure they still put on a great show for it, and the experience you had was great. For Pirate, did we dress up a little bit, or did we just rock the bandanas? What did we?
We did a little bit. So the boys had a pirate outfit each. Arthur refused to wear his because he just wanted to go to kids club. He didn't even want to go to Pirate Night. We did make him go to Pirate Night though. We did make him go. But Teddy was quite keen. He dressed up as a pirate. He was like,
good on him.
And then I was kind of like half and half pirate. I went for a little bit. Though I didn't manage to get James to dress up as a pirate.
No, shame.
I know.
I'd love to have seen it.
Next time, James. Next time.
But no, it was really good, and it was just really nice. I think the another nice little touch as well is all of the kids club wristbands, and all of because you can get the wristbands as well, obviously, as you board, to sort of charge things to your room and stuff. The wristbands light up with the pirate music.
Oh, they've got the Disney Plus ones.
It's kind of interactive. So they had said to the boys, like, make sure you're always wearing your wristband, because sometimes there'll be magic and stuff. So during the pirate party, as the music was playing, the wristbands are kind of lighting up, and it kind of makes it a bit more interactive.
Oh yeah.
So that was a nice touch as well.
So they've obviously incorporated the My Disney, the Magic Band Plus now fully into the cruise ships. They were on up. The Fantasy was the first one to go into doing it, so obviously that's fully integrated now, which is quite cool. Because usually you can have the wristband to charge, but you used to have you have your stateroom key and your lanyard, and that's how you kind of usually used to do it. So that's now starting to. It's kind of strange where Disney World's now fading out of Magic Band.
Yeah.
Disney Cruise is picking it up. It's nice they've done that. Like, I imagine the kids were like, wow. How cool
it was
is
a
this?
nice touch, especially because it was dark as well, and it was kind of like because it was about 10 o'clock at night, I think.
Yeah,
by the time it was all happening. So all of the wristbands lighting up just kind of added to the the party element of it as well.
Did you keep yours, or did you hand them back at the end?
No, we handed them back because it was, I think, to keep the bands, it was like 25 quid per band.
They
and they don't do anything, obviously, once you get home.
No, they don't.
So we were like, let's just hand them back. We'll just
and that's the beauty of the cruise.
We'll
if you hand them back, if you hand them back, you haven't spent. You've had that Disney magic, and you haven't to spend anything for it. So it's like an included thing.
It's really, I think it's really easy to get kind of wrapped up in the charging things to the room, and by the time you get off, you've spent $1,000 or whatever. We were quite good, but I think you can do it. You can do it kind of on the cheap as well. Like it is, like we paid for it. I would say, other than what we spent in Belgium, we were pretty good. We did buy some sweets on board and some cakes from the sweet shop because they were amazing. Because they're really impressive looking. Like they're just really cool. So we did do that. I would say we probably spent about $30 on board.
Wow, that's really
we were
impressive.
But obviously, if I was a DVC member and was getting a nice discount on my merch, then maybe I'd have.
And one thing I've noticed though is because obviously, so normally when you're cruising and you're shopping on board, there's no tax because you're in international waters.
Yeah.
What I have noticed is when we did our Norway cruises, they had slipped on VAT. VAT had been banged onto the prices. So
I didn't notice that on ours. I don't think that was on ours.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I noticed that the merch was more expensive on that cruise than it was when we got from Canaveral. Yeah. But to not buy anything, that's impressive.
Yeah, we were quite.
You're stronger people than we'd ever be.
Oh, absolutely.
We were quite good. I think we were trying to. I think there's something in me that's quite frugal. I think it's probably to do with my upbringing, but I quite like to. If I've paid for something and I know that things are included, I'm like, I'm gonna have the things that are included.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, they got a good deal out of us. If we didn't even do the rotational dining.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, but you pay for it, and regardless of how you use it, it's how you use it. So as long as you see the value for the money for it, And like you say,
absolutely.
I am very much one of those people that if I'm on that boat, if it's included, I'm using it. Even for the popcorn, for example, that you charge the first round of it and then you get the refills on it. I wouldn't have even. I've never paid for it because I'm like, well, I've got enough food around this boat. Well, I don't need popcorn.
Yeah.
And it is that mentality. You're like, what? For me, I'm not a huge drinker anyway. So although I have the cruise, the beer mugs to get cheaper beer when I have done it, most of the time I'm like, well, there's a refill station up on top deck. I'm just going to fill up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that was a great perk. That was
just refillable drinks. Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah.
I'm fair play to you. I mean, Adam, domestic general will tell you, I'm a sucker for merch. I'll buy anything left, right, and centre. Says he that's sipping on his new plug.
On brand.
On brand.
But then they brainwashed many moons ago, didn't they, to us? So yeah,
they did. Yeah,
I probably started. I know my family would have in the 90s would have started off saying like, oh yeah, no, we'll go and enjoy the attractions in the parks and stuff like that, and that's our Disney holiday. But even they got suckered into being like, actually, yeah, let's have a second suitcase. Let's have an empty suitcase when we're heading out to Disney parks and so on. So,
yeah.
So it gets you. The mouse will get you the more you do it. That's for sure.
Yeah. The thing is, these days, there's so many shops that do like affordable Disney stuff as well now.
This is true.
There's so many things. Like you go into Primark and 50% of the kids section is Disney in some way, and then obviously not making as much from it, but you're advertising them.
Yeah,
you're advertising them walking around with a Mickey Mouse jumper on that's even from Primark. It might prompt someone to go and book a Disney holiday.
Exactly.
Yeah. Win-win.
They've just casted the net very wide.
Yeah.
To go at their audience. They really have. Yeah. Oh, you sound like you've had a fab time, and I'm sure everyone in the family, the boys in the family, loved it. All good things come to an end. How was disembarkment for you? Because obviously embarkment was a little bit chaos. How did it feel getting off the ship?
Getting off was also chaos, but it was organised chaos. I think it's like a well-oiled machine. Like they know exactly what they're doing. I think they schedule everyone a breakfast slot in the rotational dining restaurants. I think our breakfast was like 7:20 in the morning or something. So you pack your bags the night before and you can leave them outside. They give you luggage tags that have a character and a colour. And then in the morning, when you're having your breakfast, you hear them over the tannoy sort of say, everyone who's... So we were green Tinkerbell. So they would call green Tinkerbell. That meant that your luggage had been removed from the ship and was at the port ready for you to collect. Then as you kind of disembark, once you get into the port, there's signs that correspond with the tags, and that's where your bag will be. So it's so well organised. So like even that is fun for the kids, isn't it? They're going off and they're listening out for their character, and then they're going and looking for Arthur loved it because he had his BB-8 suitcase, and it looks like BB-8, so it's quite cool. But people kept on kind of stopping him and asking him about it and stuff.
It's my kind of suitcase, to be fair.
Yeah, it is brilliant. Really cool. It is really cool because it looks like him like rolling around and stuff. It's cool.
Awesome. Was it like over in a flash? Did you have to wait for a certain amount of time, or?
No, it was so quick. I think because they're so keen to kind of get the next lot on within the next couple of hours of people getting off. I know that the sailings were kind of like bish bash bosh. I know there was someone that we work with, Adam, who went on on the cruise before we went.
Yes.
And she got back, and I think I saw as we were driving up, she'd put a photo up because she'd just gotten off, and I was like, oh, we're about to get on that, and she'd gotten off like an hour before. And it's so I didn't realise it was quite so kind of confined. Like you're out and the next people.
Yeah, their turnaround's quick. Really fast.
It's amazing though, because you would never know that many people had just been sort of using the facilities. It's just spotless, and everything's it is a well-oiled machine. Like it's impressive.
Yeah, we talk about Disney magic a lot, and it's usually character meets and rides and so on and so forth, but there's something to be said about the Disney magic behind the scenes of getting these experiences, such as cruise liners with thousands of people on board getting off and coming on the same day. How they're able to do that sort of turnaround, it is only magic. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, we did. The one thing that we really wanted to squeeze in was the aqueduct slide.
Yes.
So we dropped the kids off at the kids club so we could go on it.
Did you ride it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, loved it. It was great.
It's hilarious.
It was good. It was a bit weird. I think when you're under it, it looks like you're going to be able to see a lot more than you can, and then when you're in it, it's just in a flash. You're like, okay, I'm at the bottom now, and now I'm cold. Like, this is great. But no, it was good. We wanted to make sure we'd been on it at least once, and both boys were not having any of it. They didn't want to know, so we were like, okay, you're off to kids club, and that was quite nice. That was like our little bit of like child-free time. Went and had a coffee and went in the pool as well. In like the adult bit, so it was nice. So we did get to kind of enjoy that as well. Obviously with more time there was so much more we could have looked at, but it was nice to have that kind of couple of hours on that last day.
Yeah, absolutely. Those little moments just where the kids are dropped off and you got a bit of time with yourself, although not a lot in comparison to the whole trip, are very important. And just sitting in the over 18 section, bit of peace and quiet, got a nice coffee. Can't fault that.
But equally, the parent guilt when you've dropped your kid off at kids club. The parent guilt. I was just thinking the whole time, I was like, I want to go and pick them up. I feel bad.
You'd have gone back then. They would have gone, go away.
Yeah.
Nintendo
we did
Switch.
have that. It took about 10 minutes to get them out of kids club on the first day because they were trying to like track them down, and they were just like, oh, why are you here already? But again, it's great for them. They know that it's they make it a reassuring place to drop the kids, and that's great.
Yeah, awesome. It goes to show it just caters for all ages, doesn't it? If that's the case.
100%.
Amazing, awesome. Well, considering the whole experience that you had on your magical time on the Fantasy, if you were to summarise some key takeaways or some key top tips to give listeners aboarding the ship for the first time, or even repeated guests, what would be your top takeaways from your Fantasy trip?
So, definitely echoing what you've said, Coomber. I'm calling you Coomber, and it's like you're AC on this.
Fine, doesn't matter. Same thing.
Is definitely download the app and have faith that the app is going to wake up and be magical once you're on board. Again, the vlog thing, I don't think it would have taken away from the experience. I think if anything, it would have added to it. So I would, if I could go back, I would watch some more vlogs, and I'd have done more research into kind of what I did end up kind of missing out on, because I do feel like I've got some regrets there, and I could have fixed that. I could have watched some vlogs, and I wasn't short on recommendations either, was I? So I was being given names and I was just like, I'm not going to watch them until afterwards. I would definitely take warm clothes as well, because it does get quite cold. That's one thing that kind of surprised us, because it was kind of like end of summer, but it does get quite cold, especially if you've got a veranda. And also on the pirate night, it was obviously quite chilly up on the deck. I would also say the lift situation is a bit crazy. You stand waiting for a lift for such a long time, and I think in hindsight, I think if you're going a few floors up or down, just take the stairs.
Just take stairs.
Because it's not worth it. I think some people felt a little bit entitled as well, and they would just kind of like, you'd be waiting for ages and they would just go straight past you to go in, and then people would huff. They would huff at you if you got in their lift, because their lift had to stop on your floor. It's just most people were quite good about it, but yeah, I think taking the stairs, especially if you're going downwards, it's just because it's such a big ship. Obviously, you can go anywhere from, kind of I think some people even stay on like deck 2, and you go all the way up to sort of 13. It's there are a lot of stairs, but the lifts at either end we found to be a bit quieter. The ones in the center of the ship were
nightmare.
Just busy all the time. So yeah, if you're able to, then I would take the stairs if it's just a few floors.
That's a good shout.
Also, the other thing, there was one more thing I wanted to say as well, is there's a walk around the outside of, I think it's on deck 4, and I think it's like a mile long or something.
Yeah, it's a running track.
It's a running track.
Cool.
But we found obviously, because it's quite crowded in a lot of areas on the ship, it was really nice to be able to go out there. They had some kind of outdoor games as well. They had like curling and stuff like that. That was out there.
Nice.
And each day we just did a walk around the ship, just to kind of calm the kids down and stuff. And that was really nice. So I definitely recommend getting out there. And also if cruise ships generally interest you, then that's also quite a nice one to do, because you can see the kind of like all of the mystery doors all over the place, and like the maintenance bits and bobs, and you can see all of the kind of like emergency like lifeboats and stuff, and it's just a different part of the experience. But I would definitely recommend that as well if you've got kids that need calming down, or if you just need to take 5, then that's really good.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Just remind yourself that you're on a cruise ship, really, I suppose, because easily forgotten, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, you said you've got some things to check out. Is there any plans for a second cruise? Have you got ideas, plans? Any Disney parks in your future?
So after we got off and we got home, Teddy got seasick after we got back. So that was really weird. So he was fine the whole time. We didn't really feel much movement while we were on board.
Right.
But then on the last night, it was quite. I think we were going around the Isle of Wight a couple of times before we could dock. I think that's what was happening. So we were kind of like tipping up while we were all trying to go to sleep, and it was a bit weird. James was wobbly for about a week afterwards. So he's completely off the idea of going on a cruise again, which is a shame. But we do really want to go to Paris again. We're thinking once they've finished the kind of Frozen stuff that they're building. We want to obviously wait until that's calmed down a little bit, but I'm thinking maybe like 2027 we'll try and do that. We would love to do Florida one day, but I think that's in the quite distant future, unfortunately. But yeah, we'd love to do it one day. That's always been kind of on the cards, but it's just such a huge expense. But yeah, definitely one day. And I won't make the same mistake. I will be watching all of the vlogs when the day comes.
You've always got us to talk to as well.
Taking it all in. Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
You've got us. The avid
Definitely.
goers. You know,
I know.
you-
I should have come in with the questions, really, shouldn't I? I should have. Like I knew a cruise pro, and I didn't use that.
Well, but then you had your own experiences, you had your own
Yeah.
memories out of it, and you made your own trip. So
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, and it was amazing, and it was down to you that we even kind of knew about them. So thank you.
well, I'm glad, you know, I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad, you know, it was one to remember. It sounds like there's some fantastic memories made on that
Yeah.
trip, and you had a really good one for the memory books, and the boys will, I no doubt, will treasure it forever.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It was
well said.
great. Teddy has been trying to sell everything in his bedroom so he can go on another one.
There you go, and there you
Everything.
go.
I'm talking like he's moving bits of furniture out of his bedroom and telling me to sell them so that he can go on another Disney cruise.
Bless him,
Oh, bless him.
bless him.
Yeah, it's quite funny. His bedroom's like a prison cell. There's like nothing in there. He's like, "Mummy, could you put this chair on vintage?" Oh,
It's going to be
but
a shrewd businessman when he grows up. I like it.
Absolutely,
definitely minimalist.
And he'll live in Disney.
Yeah.
love it.
Oh, awesome. Chelsea, thank you very much for jumping on with AC and I. We're so glad that you had such a magical time. I knew you would, and certainly the way that AC's described cruising to me as well. I knew it was going to be something that you and the family are going to really enjoy. And from your perspective, AC, you know, your preaching works. You've got another.
It does. You need a commission from them.
If I could, I've said to myself, if I ever come out of engineering, I'll be selling DVC or cruise line, and I reckon I could do quite well at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So-
think so.
Do it on
Absolutely.
the side.
Side hustle with it, yeah. No, I'm glad that my words of support for the thing have, you know, that got everyone on board to do it, and people that have done it have said how good it is, because it means that I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. It's definitely an experience. It was very busy and like it's chaos, but I think I think the better you are with the app, like if you get straight on the app, then you can't really go wrong. Like you can set it to, obviously you'll know, like you set it to give you notifications and stuff of anything that you want to do. You can kind of favorite it and it'll pop up 15 minutes before. So yeah, I think if you're an organized person, you can have a less chaotic time.
Honestly, I think this has been such a beneficial episode, just because, you know, from the eyes of someone who has done this for the first time, and from the experience of AC jumping on as well, and giving your insight from a repeated cruiser. I just want to thank both of you for jumping on. I think
Very welcome.
If one or two people can get a little bit more insight into cruising, then it's going to be a beneficial listen. And if no one listens and it's just me, then I've picked up a whole heap of information for a potential cruise, which is going to be down the line as well. So I appreciate it.
Very welcome.
My pleasure. Happy I can be here, mate. Happy to help.
Good stuff. Now we know where we can find AC and all of his cruise news. If you aren't already, make sure you are listening to the Disload Podcast, our monthly podcast where we pick out all of the latest news from the parks, the cruise line, DVC, Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris included. So be sure to check out Disload with AC, myself, host Luke, and also Kevin from Brit's Guide to DVC. So make sure you are checking out the Disload Podcast. You can also check out AC on Insta, on the Sailing Away podcast. He puts obviously some more insight of his most recent trip to the Magic, and we'll be welcoming AC back to a Devonshire Dis episode in the not too distant future to go through all of the magic across the pond from your family trip. So I'm looking forward to that, mate, as well.
I cannot wait to get into that one. That's going to be good. There's lots of magical moments to go through on that one.
Great stuff. We are looking forward to it. Chelsea, thank you kindly once again for jumping on. And yeah,
No
now
worries.
that
Thanks
now
for
that
having
Disney
me.
Bug has got you, hopefully we'll have you back on Devonshire Dis in the not too distant future as well. You never know.
Definitely. No, thanks for having me. It's been a joy.
Awesome. I'm glad it has. Listeners, thank you kindly for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, subscribe to the Devonshire Dis podcast, and also Check us out on Insta, YouTube, and we do have a TikTok as well. So give us a follow across the social verse where you can. I've mentioned AC over on Insta on the Sailing Away podcast, and please do check out the Disload Podcast Brit's Guide to DVC, and ensure that you're subscribing to both of those and the Devonshire Dis podcast as well. Final thanks, Chaos, AC, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time. Thanks both.
Thank you.
Cheers.